starting off, just couldn't be more proud, thankful for this team and how they stick together, resilient, battle, and found a way to come out on top tonight. Dropped down early, fought our way back, and found a way to win there late. And so these seniors have meant a lot to our program, done some good things, and really set a platform for what we can continue to build upon. And very, very thankful for their sacrifice and for what they've done for our program and for me personally. So thought some guys had some really outstanding plays tonight and really played exceptionally. But it took everybody in all three phases. So y'all shoot away.
Can you talk about the, I guess, obviously Davis wasn't able to go again. And then, of course, Braylon stepping in and having a great game.
Yeah, I thought he played exceptionally well. Really calmed down after the first couple of series. I think that throw to Malachi really kind of allowed him to kind of relax a little bit. What a play by Mally there early on that, but a great throw too. And then at that point, I thought he really got into a good groove, had his eyes in the right spots, did some really good things, extending some drives, extending some plays. Pretty spot on, especially with the deep ball. JC had a phenomenal night as well. Didn't really get our run game going as much as we wanted to, but it's a tough defense to run the football against. But we did enough in the run game to kind of keep them off balance and to allow those receivers to continue to work.
Do we know, do we know if Davis is coming back, or, was he all along too hurt, or?
He's still injured, and Braylon played great. This team did a nice job tonight. Obviously, I'm really proud of them and what they were able to accomplish, especially coming on the road. This is a tough place to play with a very talented team across the field. So really proud of them.
And talk about the defense, especially in the second half, how you kind of shut them down.
Yeah, I thought our defensive staff and obviously our players, they made some really good adjustments there at half and really were able to kind of get Clayton off the spot a little bit. Did some nice things trying to put some coverage on Dell. I mean, they targeted him, I think, like 17 times. I mean, he's a special player, got elite speed, but they've got a lot of good players out there. And so I thought the adjustments that we made were really good. And those guys went out and executed at a high level, and we needed to get pressure and get Clayton off that spot.
On Braylon, thinking back to when we saw him come in against Ole Miss, he did some good things, but he said afterwards, it was moving fast. When you think about the progress he's made over the course of the season with the opportunities he's had, what is kind of the nature of that progress? In what ways has he progressed specifically? Well,
number one, I think the game is starting to slow down for him. I think he's doing a better job of getting his eyes in the right spot, taking what they're giving him. And a lot of it is confidence, right? And being able to have those reps and step into the big time games, big time moments. I thought he played really well versus Tulane. I thought he played well enough for us to win. We didn't make enough plays around him tonight. We made enough plays around him for him to lead us to victory in that sense. So I think he is just growing, not only as a quarterback, but as a leader. And I think his passion and his exuberance on the field, he's bouncing around, he's leading, he's talking, hey, I missed that. I know I missed it. We'll get it on the next one. And I think guys do a good job of feeding off of that.
I think on every single drive you guys scored, you had an explosive play, at least 20 yards. Just how big were they and what did it take? Because your offensive line has kind of been a bit of a whipping boy at times, but I mean, a lot of times it's just holding that block for an extra fraction of a second that allows that to happen. So what went into those explosive plays tonight?
Yeah, really, Caden, I think offensive line wise, the last several weeks, we're finally starting to get healthy, right? And that same starting five has now gotten to start multiple games together. And you see the cohesiveness starting to build with them. And I thought they did some really good things tonight. I mean, that's a tough D line. They got some really good pass rushers with it. Linebackers were coming at different levels. And we had a couple of sacks. I don't know how many we had, but some of that was good coverage down the field. Some of that was maybe not having our eyes that time in the right spot and trying to hold on to it a little bit too long. But overall, I thought our offensive line did a really nice job tonight and has over the last couple of weeks.
It's been an up and down year, a crazy year. And I know you guys had goals early on that certainly seemed, attainable, and it didn't work out that way. But to be able to finish on the road against a really good team with a win like you had tonight, I mean, does that make it even more special, to finish the year like that?
Well, I think it makes it more special because of the way our guys really stepped up the last couple of weeks and finishing so strong for these seniors and for this football team. And these guys are battle tested, right? And yes, you're right. We started off the season with some pretty high hopes, and we knew we had some spots that we had to grow in, but felt like we had a lot of good key pieces to it. We battled through the middle part of our season, just fighting injuries and everything else, and, found a way to come out on the other side of it right here. Disappointed from that standpoint, because I really felt like we had a group that we could really do some special things. Sometimes you have those years where the injury bug just reaches out and grabs you on certain things, and but I'm proud of the way these guys stuck together and just battled through all of that, and to finish the season like we did, especially here. This is a really good football team, tough place to play, and it's a big win.
Is Kendarren okay after that hit? I know he went back in.
Yeah, the targeting, I mean, he's fine. We had to hold him out kind of in that first half. Docs really wanted to make sure he was clear. And, he felt like he could go back in immediately, but, doctors are saying, hey, let's wait and hold and make sure everything's still good. And then reevaluated him at halftime, passed everything he needed to pass, and was able to go back in. And I thought he played a great second half.
You lose some key seniors for sure, and some of those guys made big plays tonight. But you've been recruiting this, kind of to a certain profile for years now. You've built this thing up. You've got a lot of talent. One way or another, you would think you're going to have really good quarterback play. The league changes next year. Some of those teams that are perennially at the top, move on, and some other teams come in. You were talking about how you thought this could be a special season. Do you feel like next year, you know what I mean? And we have no idea with the portal, right? What could be going out and coming in, that sort of thing. But do you feel like you've built up, the sort of base where, you guys could have a special season next year and move up that pecking order?
Yeah, Caden, right now it's kind of hard to say that. I think we'll have some really good key pieces coming back. We're going to have some holes to fill for sure. But with the portal and as crazy as college football is right now, there's a lot of conversations that have got to happen. There's a lot of recruiting that has got to happen. And, we'll get back tonight, and then Monday morning we'll start having meetings, and, recruiting is year round. So we'll continue to kind of work our way through that part of it. Recruiting is going to be big, just like it always is. And we've got some depth and some roster things that we've got to address and attack and be able to go out and find. Now, that being said, Caden, I think we're going to have a really good conference, even with these guys that are departing. I think the teams coming in, I think that is going to even add more to this conference. And, that being said, I look forward to the new teams coming in and getting a chance to compete with them.
For more information, you can visit tulsaworld.com.